Hi, I'm Jolene Andersen, and I'm Galactic Empress.
I am Zika, mistress of the 9 moons.
My character, the Galactic Empress, is the leader of the dark force, and they're definitely the dominant force in the universe, and her job, her desire is to hold on to that place in the universe, by all means. The training and the swordplay helped me build my character. Mainly because, I have a really cool weapon. I've got this like double-edged sword, so I'm just all blade, and it's a very aggressive weapon. And I really do feel like the character almost like comes from this beautiful weapon. The life of all of these characters seem to come from these really elaborate, really cool weapons that we work with. I've done a lot of fighting on camera. I do a lot of assassins and FBI agents gone rogue and things like that. So I've used a lot of guns, and I have been able to play with some fun axes and things like that, but never quite to this extent. And I've never been able to have such elaborate training. It was really fun to be able to get together a few times a week with a really patient, really talented group of trainers, and really delve in and just have it be a part of my daily routine. And then, the icing on the cake was just to be able to get in costume and actually go to battle.
All right, here we go, guys. Ready, and action!
I thought that I would be better at it. I thought that it would be easier and that I would be able to pick up the choreography, and that, you always sort of have this idea that, yeah, I want to be this, feminine warrior and play with these weapons, and then you get into the training and then it's a lot harder than you think it is. The process overall was really interesting and really fun. There was a really big casting where we all got to kind of meet each other and talk about how fun and interesting it was that we were here doing this crazy thing, and then we all get paired up, and then we'd all see each other training and fighting and going through the process. And I really liked that it took so long, that we spent I think 2 or 3 months, getting it together. And so it kind of made it a part of our lives instead of just like a really quick gig. And just the attention and the time that everybody put into it made it more special. I think they did a great job, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
To his arm, staying low. Now, you're keeping it in that grip, and you're just sweeping at my face from your left to your right. Good. And we are just going back on our right, prepping our sword, and we're going to hit low.
Zim and Harris were my trainer, our trainers for our fight, and they were just a lot of fun. They were so sweet and so patient and so supportive, and there for us at any time. We had really conflicting schedules. We've all got a lot going on. It was just so much fun. I was really sad to see it end. I was really hoping that we could just all get together and continue to do what we were doing, but shout out to them. They were fantastic.
I'll do like the Matrix, like, whoa!
Exactly.
Just jump like.
You could stop in
If only I
midair.
had like long hair, I'd just be like,
If you could freeze in midair, that'd be perfect.
By the time we got to action, we'd just been doing it for so long, and you have the comfort of knowing that if you mess up, there's a cut right afterwards. So, I felt very comfortable at that point that we were going to do it as many times as we needed to for it to look good, and that I had Tim there and all of our trainers to make sure that we were doing everything right. So by the time we got to filming it, I felt really comfortable and safe in their hands.
Ready, and action!
should we start over? Sorry.
Yeah. Protect yourself, on. Here we go. Start you up again. I'll start you up again. Ready, guys? Here we go. Ready, and action!
You know, there were mistakes and injuries during every leg of the project. You know, there were a lot of, it's funny, you know, you think you're really badass and you grab a giant edged sword and you smack yourself on the head a few times, and there were a lot of bruises and bloody heads and smacked shins and, you know, a lot of, oh, I'm sorry, did I hurt you? But that goes along with the game, and I don't think anyone was any worse for wear, so. You know, really the best part about when we finally shot it was just that we were in this really disgusting, dirty warehouse, which I found really thrilling and exciting, but everybody else was really like, ooh, ooh, ow. You know, someone would fall and they'd get dirty and we'd have to stop everything to clean them up, and I was like, what are you doing? Let's just get dirty. You know, I didn't really understand the trepidation, but I thought that was really fun, and I did think that was really funny that everybody was so afraid of, like, you know, getting dirty when we were out there to kill each other. You know, during the choreography, you know, you think that you are exuding a certain amount of strength, or that, you know, you've brought this character to life, and then we would videotape it so we could see if we were landing our hits. And I kept looking at myself, and I thought, oh, I'm so weak. You know, I don't look believable. It doesn't look like I could kick this girl's ass. Like I didn't have that warrior posture, you know, something that shows that you've been doing this since you were 10 years old, or, you know, that you were really a lethal fighting machine. And that was probably the hardest thing for me to see, is I kept trying to correct it, and then I wasn't, and I would get, you know, I'd get really upset and beat myself up. I did go through that and overcome it, and you know, we'll see how it turned out, but I'm proud of the final product regardless, you know, because it was a lot of good work. Yeah, I would usually go home a mess. And really excited about it. You know, I'd be like, oh my gosh, we had this amazing training today, and I tore up every part of my body, and it was great. You know, it was good to put your body in those new and different places, and to feel it's kind of like, you know, going home from a boot camp or a good workout and just being sore and knowing that it's because you're doing something awesome. I loved my partner. She was amazing, and I felt really bad every time I had to hit her. And I felt even worse every time I actually hit her, which happened frequently. Aw, poor little thing. She's so sweet. I loved him. What a great ringleader. You know, I really feel like, you know, we're actors and we're sort of like thrown out there into the ring, literally. And he was so supportive and so sweet and so giving of his time. Him and everyone on the staff would have given their blood to, you know, if I wanted to go in there every day for 5 hours, they would have been more than happy to do that. So I couldn't have asked for a more supportive team, and I couldn't ask for a better coach. You know, I really respect him a lot, and I trust him as a stunt coordinator, which is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, this is a lot of fun. It's a great way to get involved in something like this. You know, if you like really strong women doing battle, then this is going to be a lot of fun for you.